Framingham, PA.
I'm Dick Jr. from Oldsmobile, PA.
Troy Thornton, Quakertown, Pennsylvania. This is my son, Richard.
Jeff Thornton from Souderton, Pennsylvania.
I'm Zach Thornton, Jeff's son.
At this auction, we're going to have 3 442 convertibles, which we usually don't do at the same show. But we'll see what happens.
I've been around cars my whole life.
We came from a body shop business, a family business, and now we do exclusively restorations on the old muscle cars.
My dad had a 66 442 convertible, and I used to sit in the passenger seat, and he used to let me shift it.
I love the style of it, the way they handle, the power. They're just great cars to own.
We're taking a 1971 442 convertible to the Barrett-Jackson auction, lot number 676. It's a 4-speed car. They only made 183 4-speeds, and this one has air conditioning. It has a lot of options.
We're doing a 7442, lot number 691. This is an automatic. The other 2 cars are 4-speed. But it has power windows, tilt wheel, black top, white interior. Every nut and bolt, you know, it's a brand new vehicle.
Well, of course, I like the one I built, you know. Drop top. It's got air, ice-cold air, power windows, tilt wheel. It's a loaded-up car.
This here it really makes me proud because it's something that a normal person can't put the car back like this. My son does it, and his sons. I couldn't be more prouder.
The greatest lesson I think I've learned from this is just what my family does and who my family is, and just what makes these cars our cars.
I mean, we put our lives into these cars. It's passion. If you're not passionate, you can't do it. So that's what we do.
Now on the block is the car we promised we'd bring to you. The first of 3 beautiful Olds 442s from the Thornton shops in Pennsylvania. This one, a convertible.
And then they give them a fabulous restoration.
Well, this one's near perfect. I'll tell you, you see about 8 different shades of flat and semi-gloss black under the hood. That's because a lot of the parts under hood all came from different GM suppliers, and they're supposed to have different finishes. The Thorntons restored their cars to as original. Now, in Scottsdale, we see a lot of cars from Patrick Pogrant, Patrick's classic cars, and they are over-restored because that's how his customers like him. So who's standing here right on stage, Brad, hanging out with the Thorntons? Patrick. They're not just competitors, they're friends too. So everybody who's in the GMA body business and does a great job is right here, and they're all looking over how this one will do.
You know, speaking of the GMA body business, the aftermarket business, the Thorntons are actually now producing W25 fiberglass hoods. This is a reproduction right here from Thornton Reproduction. It has the correct fiberglass skin, and get this, the stamped steel underlayer, which is just like GM did it, is 100% Concord correct. So these are available now. Anybody with a 442 wants to add W25, get in touch with the Thorntons. They can sell you one of these brand new.
All right, let's just tease me with the chassis cam. And Mike, you know, just more of the same underneath. The correct finishes. We have paint inspection marks, shiny stuff where it should be, and dull stuff where it should be. Little stainless steel on the exhaust. Okay, a little half a step over, but who cares? It's fabulous.
Is that tease or torture?
Yeah. Thank you, Chevy chassis cam. Dumb camera.
All right, here's the crowning touch. Note the Oldsmobile emblem, and Patrick does the same thing the Thorntons do. They line it up exactly with the valve stem. Why? Because it looks like it ought to be that way.
Just because. Because they can. See a lot of bidders up there shaking their heads as the number continues to climb.
I gotta say, Bob, between the Thorntons and Patrick, I'm not sure who I'd pick to do my own car. They're both just spectacular shops and great folk that really know how to do these cars right.
91, 91, 91.
And that's why you're seeing that kind of money for that car.
91, 92, 91, 92, out of 91, 92,
I'm not sure that pays for the restoration yet.
$91,000 EC.
$91,000. Congratulations. Coming up, a golden Olds 442 that can make a grown man tremble.
Now I'm going to start vibrating just a little bit here. It's a nice car.
And later, the original Miss Hurst Golden Shifter, Linda Vaughn, sells her 1979 Olds Hurst Coupe.
Whoever gets this, I hope, has the greatest love affair with Oldsmobiles, just like I do.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of Congress, in celebration of over 75 years of our government employees insurance company, or GEICO, as most of you know it, I propose savings for everyone. I'm talking hundreds here, and furthermore...
Breaking news, the Gecko is demanding free pudding.
And political parties that are actual parties, with cake and presents. No, that was good. It's too bad nobody could hear me.
GEICO, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The more I search for my significance, seems the more I disappear. And I wonder, have I made a difference in anybody's life since I've been here? And I can hear your laughter, it's the sweetest sound I've ever known. I don't know how love happens, but I know I'm not alone. And I do have faith in you. And after all this time, sometimes I see the truth, and I'm touched by your innocence, and now I'm not confused. 'Cause you give me your love, but one thing I can't lose, you believed in me. And I still have faith in you.
Devotion. Pass it on.
Welcome back to the Oldsmobile edition of the Barrett-Jackson Auctions here on Speed. Like many other muscle cars, the Olds 442 evolved out of a package of options on an existing model. In this case, both the Olds F85 and the Cutlass, to compete with the success of Pontiac's GTO in 1964. Within GM, the Olds package was called the B09 Police Apprehender Pursuit Option. But to Oldsmobile fans, the combination of a 4-barrel carburetor, 4-speed floor-mounted manual transmission, and dual exhausts on an engine that grew from 330 to 455 cubic inches over the years defined the 442. In our last segment, we watched a freshly restored 71 sell for $91,000. Now let's see how a mostly original 69 example fared on the block in Palm Beach. Lot 383.1, we saw it on video earlier, 69 Olds 442.
Now I'm going to start vibrating just a little bit here. It's a nice car. The body style that really lights me up is the 70s, 71, 72, but no matter. This is a very cool car. Still a 400, not a 455, but drop that top, snap open that Rochester Quadrajet, and let those big old rocket dual exhaust bellow. I would love to be driving this car home from here, Palm Beach, to LA. I would take the time to do it if I bought this car.
Well, the 1969 Buick, Olds, and Pontiac muscle cars are easy to verify, not so much with Chevrolet, but in the case of this 442 convertible, we go to the VIN, we see it starts with 344. We know it's a 442, if that's not too confusing. And it also has the base 400 engine with a column-shifted automatic transmission, but it's a low-mile car with all original original sheet metal in place, looking very straight.
A lot of documentation comes with this car. Original window sticker, some of the invoicing and maintenance records from it. I like the gold exterior. The goldish looking interior, to me the combination looks a little odd, but that's okay.
Topaz gold.
So funny, you think of a Hearst when you see gold and black, and we will see more of those over the next little bit. But not a Hearst, this one. The 69 Hearst was white with gold trim. Same body as this, and a bigger motor and a really big dual hood scoop up on top.
The car has an interesting combination of options. It does not have bucket seats or power windows, but it does have air conditioning and an AM/FM radio. So it's described as being highly optioned.
I'm glad you guys came to life back there. Welcome to the party. 23, 24, 24,000.
We're in total bargain territory right here so far. Total.
24,000 here, 24, 24, 23, hammers up. I'm selling it way in the back. 23, oh, Roger, you got to be for it. 24,000. 24.5, 23.5 forward. 23.5, 24. I did that forward. 20.
See, the voodoo dolls are making my bitter past jump up and down.
We get it. We know. You're an Olds 442 fan.
Could be.
I'm going to say right here at the right rear corner of the car, the beautiful detail they put into the exhaust tip, that trumpet, standard feature on the 442. I love that.
And with the bumper cut out.
That's a rocket.
And it sells for $25,000, so my partner stops vibrating and starts weeping. Up next, power meets performance in a 69 Hearst Olds.
These were tested and they actually make 64 pounds of downforce at 120 miles an hour.
It's bad impressions that get your name in the news, and that's all that people see.
Thursday, uncover the real Kurt Busch. Get an unbelievably candid look at NASCAR's most controversial driver.
At least I got it off my chest. This is therapy. I keep shooting myself in my own feet.
I feel like we're watching a talented driver self-destruct.
Am I going to continue to fight this battle, or should I just walk away?
Kurt Busch, the Outlaw, Thursday, 8 Eastern, exclusively on Speed.
Survivors of disasters like Superstorm Sandy continue to need your help. Red Cross volunteers are still on the scene, providing emergency shelter, food, and support. But we can't do it alone. Please make a donation to American Red Cross Disaster Relief. Your help is urgently needed, and no amount is too small to make a difference. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Welcome back to the Oldsmobile edition in Speed's highlighted coverage of the Barrett-Jackson auctions. Beginning in 1968, Oldsmobile collaborated with Hearst Performance to produce a special edition muscle car, the Hearst Olds. In both Cutlass and 442 versions, it remains one of the most enduring marketing successes in automotive history, thanks in part to a certain lady we'll meet later in the program, Linda Vaughn. Recognizable by its signature Hurst shifter and striking paint scheme, the Hurst Olds came in coupe, convertible, and even a T-top, a first for General Motors. There was plenty of power under the hood for a mid-size car, and the Hurst Olds paced several Indy 500s in the 1970s. Here comes an early example of the Hurst Olds from the second year of production in 1969. Lot 663.1. Look at it get right to $25,000, $30,000. I'm not even going to try to follow the meter.
Should get right to 50.
Just keep in mind, of course, that the Hurst Olds was basically a 442. We see the 344 VIN prefix. These were sent from Oldsmobile to a modification center. They were not fully completed there at the modification center. The 455 full-size engine was installed. Was not done by Oldsmobile, and they did 906 of these cars in 1969.
And the reason the 455 was not put in Lansing was because GM forbade anything larger than 400 cubic inches in the mid-size cars. So Olds had to go to an outside supplier to put in the big mill.
All right, boys, let's look underneath. There's that 455, Turbo 400, and all the rest. Clean and freshly painted, and not many miles on this car since the redo at all. A very, very fresh undercarriage, and just right.
There's Barrett Jackson Company Vice President of Consignment Gary Bennett working with a phone bidder. Shaking his head, I think, because that meter just keeps turning over so quickly, it's hard to stay in sync with his bidder. Looks like his bidder is done, or else he lost the connection.
I'm not sure, Bob, I'd be bidding like that on a cell phone. I'd want a hard line for a call.
You
like
want a
that.
secure line, encrypted.
You know, on the trunk of these cars, there's a fiberglass spoiler that was designed after a Cessna aircraft piece. These were tested, and they actually make 64 pounds of downforce at 120 miles an hour.
$80,000. I guess when people realized this was their last chance, they got moving. Congratulations on your new car, sir. She's a beauty. Coming up, we'll shift gears with a Hurst Oldsmobile legend, Miss Linda Vaughn.
I have from Mr. France Sr. a lifetime achievement pass from NASCAR.
The Speed Holiday Marathon. Every weekend. Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. Back-to-back episodes of your favorite shows. Beginning Thanksgiving Day with Dumbest Stuff on Wheels.
Do you want to own a brand new computer, but your credit is holding you back? Now you can get that new computer you've always wanted and a lot more. If you have an active checking account and can afford low, flexible payments, Tronics Country says you're approved. There's no credit check.
They gave me credit when nobody else would.
The computer they sent me was nice.
Order now, and with your brand new computer, you'll get a free Platinum membership card and over 100,000 reward points to redeem for touchscreen tablets, gaming consoles, flat-screen TVs, or even use them for cashback.
I use my points for a new TV.
I used my points for cash back.
But that's not all.
They even reported on my credit.
There's no credit check and no turndowns. Call now, and with your new computer, get a platinum membership card and 100,000 reward points to redeem for additional gifts.
Call 1-800-830-9102.
Jimmy Johnson took the Wild West shootout in Texas. Sunday on NASCAR Race Day. Brad Keselowski tells us how Phoenix could be the critical round of the chase fight. Plus, legendary owner Roger Penske shares what it would mean to win his first Sprint Cup championship. And get exclusive access as Michael Waltrip Racing's Clint Boyer battles to stay in title contention. NASCAR Race Day, fueled by Sunoco, Sunday at noon Eastern. And celebrate with the winner on NASCAR Victory Lane at 7 Eastern. Part of Cut to the Chase coverage on Speed.
Welcome back to the Oldsmobile edition of our highlighted coverage of the Barrett-Jackson auctions on Speed. Earlier, we mentioned the name of Linda Vaughn. Now, it would be easy to describe her as the prototypical trophy queen, but that would be a disservice. The Georgia beauty served as Miss Hearst Golden Shifter from the 1960s into the 80s, transcending every form of American racing and becoming one of the sport's most recognizable and popular people. Over the years, she's been inducted into several halls of fame, and she remains a regular at major events around the country. For many years, Linda wheeled her own 1979 Hearst Olds. At the 2012 Barrett-Jackson Palm Beach auction, she sent that car to a new home. Let's meet Linda, and later on, we'll recall her emotional parting with the car.
Hi, y'all. Am I moving or talking? The wind's blowing this way. You want lipstick? I need some, don't I? Hey, y'all. I'm Linda Vaughn, Miss Hearst Golden Shifter.
I met you at Indianapolis in '92 when the Viper was there. She hasn't changed a bit. Here,
Thank you. Oh, here we are at the beautiful Daytona Speedway, USA. And it's a part of tradition. I walked through the 33 at the Indy 500 and the 43 at Daytona. Love you, brothers. Thank you. What a great family name, the Earnhardt name. Women play a big part in racing now. I was one of the first ever allowed a NASCAR pit pass. I have from Mr. France Sr. a Lifetime Achievement Pass from NASCAR. This is my 50th Daytona 500. I'm really honored to be here. We're going to Goodyear. We're guests of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. This was 1963. Where did you get that?
On the internet, where you get everything.
I love this. It's probably the key place to be at the Daytona 500. Everybody say hi to Speed. We got Speed here. This is part of our Goodyear family. These guys are absolutely the best. We're going to have the Barrett-Jackson auction. Y'all going to come down? I got a great car for sale at Palm Beach, the Barrett-Jackson auction, a 1979 350. It's a special Hearst gold and black with a Hearst shifter in it, and it's a real special car. There was only one of 1,500 of them made. James Garner drove me around the track in it. My mother went with me. She rode shotgun. But being in a car with James Garner, I didn't care how fast we were going. It was wonderful. A lot of drivers have come to Barrett-Jackson. Everybody loves the automobile. It's the greatest love. Their first love. I thought it was the girl. No. The first love the guy has is really a car. We got 9 laps left. So here we got the winner of this first nationwide race. Go Danica, go Tony, go all the guys out there today. God bless America. This is racing.
When we come back,
they asked me what makes this car so unique. I said, it's Linda Vaughn's car.
The Speed Holiday Marathon. Every weekend. Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. Back-to-back episodes of your favorite shows. Beginning Thanksgiving Day with Dumbest Stuff on Wheels.
I'm Jimmy Johnson. I see a lot of male enhancement pills advertised on TV, in magazines, and of course the internet. Male enhancement is becoming amazingly popular with guys of all ages. Like many men, I was intrigued by the idea of male enhancement, but I wasn't going to take just any pill. That's why I tried Extends. Extends is the #1 male enhancement for over 11 years. Sold over 1 billion tablets. Yes, 1 billion. So if you've been looking for a non-prescription way to have more fun in the bedroom, try Extends. I did.
The more I search for my significance, seems the more I disappear. And I wonder, have I made a difference in anybody's life since I've been here? But I can hear your laughter, it's the sweetest sound I've ever known. I don't know how love happens, but I know I'm not alone. And I do have faith in you. And after all this time, sometimes I see the truth, and I'm touched by your innocence, and now I'm not confused. 'Cause you give me your love, but one thing I can't lose, you believed in me. And I still have faith.
Devotion. Pass it on.
Welcome back to the Oldsmobile edition of our highlighted coverage of the Barrett-Jackson auctions on Speed. Veterans of the car hobby know that a celebrity connection, known as provenance, can add to the value of a collector car. Our next car is an example of provenance so strong that the car is basically synonymous with its consignor. The catalog at the 2012 Barrett-Jackson Palm Beach auction was heavy with outstanding Oldsmobile restorations. But one Olds that stood out was an unrestored original one-owner car. The 1979 Hearst Olds, presented new to Miss Hearst Golden Shifter herself, Linda Vaughn, for her work on behalf of the Hearst name. Not a 442, this car was equipped with an automatic transmission, but it was a true Hearst edition Cutlass. And as we all learned in Palm Beach, parting with the car was emotional for Linda Vaughn.
Mark, tell them a little bit about this car. It's a beautiful car. It's Linda's personal car. It's coming from her personal collection, and it's something that she's had for a long, long time. Hey, Mark, hang on.
Well, you know, it's got a 350 in it, but we bought 3 of these 79 Hearst Oldsmobiles. The Hearst Shifty Doctor down here, Jack Watson, and one of my Hearst ambassadors, the Hearst ambassador, Joe Spagnoli, really helped me get this car put together right. My cousin Larry, little sister Trudy, because they've all been really helping me and supporting me. But to have, this is not my daddy's Oldsmobile, honey. This one was mine and my nephew's, and I still have my mother's. So we kept it in the family, and like you say, hospital bills and the tremendous cost of things today, we know that the good Lord's looking after us. So whoever gets this, I hope has the greatest love affair with Oldsmobiles, just like I do. So it runs good, and it still corners good, and this 350 will smoke the tires. Goodyear tires.
Smoke the Goodyear tires. And again, Linda had a lot of medical bills, and she really didn't want to part with this. I know it was a very tough thing for her. So let's raise as much money as we can for one of the finest ladies ever to walk into the stage, or onto the stage and into the Barrett-Jackson Arena. Miss Linda Vaughn.
All right, let's sell it. Here we go. 50.
Linda Vaughn was a high schooler in Dalton, Georgia, discovered at a local beauty contest, became Miss Firebird Super. Not for the Pontiac, it hadn't been invented yet, but for Firebird gasoline, which was the official fuel of NASCAR. And through all these years of working in drag racing, IndyCar, NASCAR, auto events around the world, she has the greatest memory for names and faces of any individual I've ever met.
25 here to 25. 25 here to owned by a legend in the car business. 25.
Well, let's keep in mind that this car is one of 2,499 built, and they were all outfitted with V8s, 350 cubic inch motors. For the most part, when you got a V8 in an Olds this year, you had a 307. So this is pretty special. Keep in mind, too, 79 was a downsized year, about 15% smaller than the Cutlasses that came before. So it's actually a fairly large engine in what then was a small car. It's a good recipe for muscle.
25 mark. Here's a beautiful card from a beautiful lady.
It is.
Greg?
What a great opportunity to buy a Hurst Olds from Linda Vaughn, titled in your name. Is this car?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's titled in my name. Well, like I said, the family bought 3 of them, and I have to give credit to Gerald Vaughn, my nephew. Pardon my voice from crying. But it's a family car. I got it back from him and took care of it, and I'm keeping my mother's in the museum. So this is the last of the 79s I have.
Also, before we start again, everybody that comes to Barrett-Jackson should spend some time at our automobilia sale. We have some incredible automobilia. What Linda just threw in on this deal is probably one of the most significant, important nostalgia. As you talk about automobilia, this is Linda's jacket, the original Hurst Olds jacket, with her name embroidered on the front with the famous Hurst logo, 1974 Indy Pace car. Absolutely a piece of automotive history. You're buying the car, you're buying the jacket, Linda's here in person, you're buying a snapshot in history right now that will never be repeated again from the Queen of Racing. Let's help her pay those medical bills. This alone is worth more than we have bid, folks. Put this in a frame, put this in a museum, have Linda sign it, and you've got a piece of automotive history right here at Barrett-Jackson. Now, come on, let's bid some more in this car.
22's bid 25, bid 25, bid 5 here, and 5, 25, bid 25, bid 23,000, 23,000 here,
now let's talk. The car is undervalued.
23 here, and 3 here, and 24 now 5, and 25,000 and dividend 70 now 30 and 30,000 and dividend 30 here and $30,000 $30,000 dividend 30 divided and 2 and 32 here and 2 32 32 32 32 and $32,000 and dividend beautiful automobile 32,000 and 32 here and dividend 2 roll it away 32 and 32 here and
great opportunity
$32,000 dividend 2 to my dividend 2 you gotta be 2 and 32 here we go 32,000 yes sir.
Now we're going to have the man that really knows what he's talking about. Doc, tell him a little bit about this car and why it's so important and what Linda means to you and what Linda means to the automotive world in general.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank everybody for being so helpful to this lady. Needless to say, I'm probably one of the oldest people in this place. And I've seen all of the things that Linda's helped raise money for, and as these people have evolved, I mean, I'm so old, I was at the very first one of these. So that car is an exceptional car. It was the only cars that we built that year that actually had 350s in them. So it is really it's a unique museum piece. And when we were doing our ESPN pieces a bit ago, they said, what makes this car?
Speed.
Whatever.
Speed, Doc.
I'm old, and I have dyslexia too. And obviously, they asked me what makes this car so unique. I said, it's Linda Vaughn's car. And that, to me, for anybody who's been around as long as I have, that's what it's all about, folks. Please help her. I'd appreciate it.
$42,000 here, Thank you, Craig.
Yeah, it's always emotional to part with an old friend in an automobile. And when you've been identified at the public eye for as long and as often.
Who's ever and still has a Hurst shifter, thank you for shifting my gears, and you still shift and throw the clutch in. God bless everybody. Thank y'all so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Linda. You got a lot of miles on that clutch left.
Coming up, the crown jewel of Olds 442s, the W30.
That is real muscle car Hope Diamond stuff right there.
It's bad impressions that get your name in the news.
Get an unbelievably candid look at NASCAR's most controversial driver.
At least I got it off my chest. This is therapy.
Kurt Busch, the Outlaw, Thursday, 8 Eastern, exclusively on Speed.
Survivors of disasters like Superstorm Sandy continue to need your help. Red Cross volunteers are still on the scene, providing emergency shelter, food, and support. But we can't do it alone. Please make a donation to American Red Cross Disaster Relief. Your help is urgently needed, and no amount is too small to make a difference. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Attention spinal surgery patients who've been implanted with an infused bone graft. The infused bone graft has been associated with serious side effects, including difficulty breathing or speaking, uncontrolled bone growth, chronic arm or leg pain, sterility, nerve injuries, cancer, and neck swelling that can result in permanent injury or death. If you underwent spinal surgery and were implanted with an infused bone graft, you may be owed compensation from the manufacturer.
Call the Reliant Group at 800-203-5107.
If you've been threatened with foreclosure, denied for a loan modification, missed a payment on your mortgage, been a victim of a predatory loan, you're upside down on your mortgage, or you lost your job and you're worried about losing your home, call the National Relief Hotline now. Call now before it's too late.
Mundo Fox presents.
Mi nombre es Pedro Pablo León Jaramillo.
The new season of the most acclaimed Spanish television series. El Capo. Every weeknight, an all-new episode on Mundo Fox.
Welcome back to the Oldsmobile edition of our speed highlighted coverage of the Barrett-Jackson auctions. In the late 1960s, as the muscle car wars gathered momentum, Oldsmobile introduced optional performance goodies for the 442. Among these was the W30 package. By 1970, when the horsepower race reached its peak, the standard engine in the 442 was a 455 cubic inch monster, and the W30 package added a fiberglass hood with functioning air scoops, aluminum intake manifold, special cams, cylinder heads, distributor, and of course, a 4-barrel carburetor. Power was conservatively estimated at 370. Here comes the baddest Olds 442 ever, a 1970 W30.
This car is very special. It's a W30 442, we know that much, but under the rear of this car is something you just never really see on a daily basis. It's the W27 aluminum differential option. Not the cover, but the entire center section of the differential. It saved 22 pounds, and it cost you about $157 to order that. Roughly 300 people took the bait. Now, keep in mind, you cannot weld aluminum differentials to steel axle tubes. There's a plug weld, and to keep this from coming apart, the only thing is, it has a 4-link rear suspension. Had this been a leaf spring deal, that would never have been able to work. But with the upper control arms anchored into the ears of the differential housing, pinion rise is not a problem. And this is an exceptionally rare rear axle option that came on this car from the factory.
Well, Steve, we're going to show it to everybody right now, courtesy of our Chevrolet chassis cam. There's the motor, and there's the trans and the pipes. We're working our way back to the Cracker Jack prize that Steve just told you about, and there it is. Full aluminum center section. Love it. That is real muscle car Hope Diamond stuff right there. This is a great car. Super low mileage and really weirdly and well optioned. I love this piece.
Now, I think the backstory on this rear end, which was promoted to Oldsmobile dealers as being great for trailer towing, is that perhaps the GM lawyers wouldn't allow them to promote it to their dealers as great for drag racing. And how many Oldsmobile dealers would have known what was great for drag racing anyway?
64 pounds, 64 pounds. Sir, thank you.
Good, Justin.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, this is 38,288 original miles on the car. Proudly red. It's a matching numbers car, 455 engine, W27 rear end, frame off restored, a documented W machine. Gary?
That's what's really cool, too. This is a very rare color combination for these 442s. This is a spectacular car, folks.
Gary, also, don't forget, it's got the aluminum rear end. Incredibly desirable car right there. Awesome car.
4, 5, here down to about 65 pounds. Here down to about 65, 7, here down to about 60 pounds. Down to here, here down to about 7, here down to about high school, 67 pounds. Hold on, here down to about 7, here down to about 67 pounds. Down to about 67 pounds. Here down to about 7 and all done. Here down to about 7, down to all done. Down to about 7. Let's go. Yes, go. Down to about 7, down to all done. 65 pounds, give it away on the stage. 65,000.
$65,000 takes it. Coming up, another Thornton restoration rocks the block. There's the Thornton contingent. They're liking that number.
New Pink Lemonade 5-Hour Energy? 5-Hour Energy supports the Avon Foundation for Women Breast Cancer Crusade. So I can get the energized feeling I need and support a great cause? I'm sold.
Pink Lemonade 5-Hour Energy.
Yeah, and a portion of every sale goes to the Avon Foundation for Women Breast Cancer Crusade.
I'm sold.
New Pink Lemonade 5-Hour Energy. Get the alert, energized feeling you need and support breast cancer research and access to care.
The more I search for my significance, seems the more I disappear. And I wonder, have I made a difference in anybody's life since I've been here? But I can hear your laughter, it's the sweetest sound I've ever known. I don't know how love happens, but I know I'm not alone. And I do have faith in you. And after all this time, sometimes I see the truth, and I'm touched by your innocence, and now I'm not confused. But you give me your love, but one thing I can't lose, you believe in me. And I still have faith.
Devotion. Pass it on.
Welcome back to our Oldsmobile edition of Speed's highlighted coverage of the Barrett-Jackson auctions. Earlier in the show, we met the Thornton family from Pennsylvania, 4 generations who specialize in restoring Olds 442s. We learned that the Thorntons came to the Palm Beach event anxious to see whose handiwork would bring top dollar. We then watched as the 71 model restored by Troy Thornton and his son Richard sold for $91,000. Now let's see how Troy's brother Jeff and his son Zachary do with their 1970 convertible. Time for some more Thornton magic. Here's the second of the 3 Oldsmobile 442s they brought here from Pennsylvania. This one, a 1970 convertible.
It's hard to use words other than perfect when you're looking at one of these, as we described the other one earlier. You can tell the standard shift from the automatic 442s by where they route the positive battery cable. It's different from one to the other. This one is the automatic transmission. Wow, what a great presentation.
Of course, 1970, nothing but a 455 in your 442. And for more numbers, 344 is the sequence you want to see on the VIN to verify the status of it being a 442. Of course, the hood on this one is the W25 fiberglass hood. It's a reproduction from the Thornton reproduction people. But again, that's the first instance of Oldsmobile using external fiberglass body panels in production.
Now, here's an example of the depth of quality of restoration. This battery clamp here is crap. It's on there because GM found that this style clamp was the quickest to assemble. But it's hard to reuse because you see there's no bolt, no way to tighten it. So after taking this on and off 2 or 3 times, you'd need to replace it with something you could really tighten and work. Okay, it's not crap, but it is original to this car, original type. And that's the depth they go to try to make it look just the way it left the factory, only better.
That's
Hey,
right,
Steve,
Mike. You know,
since you're standing right there, could you tell me, this is an automatic car, correct?
it is an automatic.
Does it have a dual gate or the standard shifter?
It's a dual gate, sure enough. On the left-hand side, we have the drive second below, and on the right-hand side, you kick the shifter over like so, and you can ratchet from one gear to the next. But if you just want to go down the road normally, put it in drive. But yes, the dual gate right there.
Yeah, that's what my car had, and I recognize that sound.
The previous Thornton production was a 1971 that went for $91,000. This one has already blown past it.
This car even has a repro, and I'm sure it's a repro, 1970 Pennsylvania inspection sticker on the windshield. And I'm sure it's a repro because all the original ones have long faded and fallen off by now.
You know, Mike, you were just talking about the low-quality battery cable that GM used. We know originality is a double-edged sword, you know, because sometimes you follow the factory production techniques, and it's not as good as what a hot rodder or somebody might improve upon, but hey, mass production is what it is, and hats off for doing this the correct way.
20. Yes, sir. Wonderfully restored cars. Down 20. Down 20. 120. Left out. 120. Here to down 120. Left out. 120. Here to down 120. Here we go. Here to down 120. Down 120. Go. All done. 120 now. How about 15? Here to down 15. How about 20? 12. 15. How about 115 now? 115 to this, sir. 115 now. Butter up. Roll around. 115 here.
There's the Thornton contingent. They're liking that number.
120 now. 120 where? 120. Don't give up. Get even. 120 now. 120. 120 now. 120 where? 120. 120 now. 20. 17 now. 20. 120 now. 120. 117,000. Way back. 117,000. Well, you'll have one more chance with the next car coming up. Thank you, Dan.
2 down, 1 to go.
Such is the price of perfection. The difference between that and the red one is that the red one was a 71. This was a somewhat more desirable 70, and I think that perfect black paint was talking.
When we come back, more Thornton 442 magic.
Won't surprise me at all if this tops the result of the car that was just sold.
The Speed Holiday Marathon. Every weekend. Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. Back-to-back episodes of your favorite shows. Beginning Thanksgiving Day with Dumbest Stuff on Wheels.
From Maine to Maui, thousands of high school students across the country are getting in on the action by volunteering in their communities.
It's great helping others, and it feels good too. Are you in? Whoa!
Anyone can do it. All it takes is a little time. Are you in?
Action teams of high school students are joining Volunteers of America and Major League Baseball players to help train and inspire the next generation of volunteers.
It's easy to start an action team at your school, so you too can get in on the action.
Are you in? Get in on the action at actionteam.org.
I was having trouble getting out of bed in the morning because my back hurt so bad.
The Sleep Number bed conforms to you. Wake up in the morning with no back pain.
Do you toss and turn, wake up with back pain? If so, call us now. You'll learn how the Sleep Number bed helps relieve back pain by allowing you to adjust the firmness and support to conform to your body for a more proper spinal alignment. Just look at this research. 93% of participants experienced back pain relief. Plus, it's a great value because it costs about the same as an innerspring, yet lasts twice as long. So if you want to sleep better or find relief for your bad back, call now.
Call 1-800-840-1148 for your free information kit with DVD, brochure, and price list. Call 1-800-840-1148 and we'll include a free $50 savings card. That's 1-800-840-1148 for your free information and this free $50 savings card. Call now.
Welcome back to the Oldsmobile edition of Speed's highlighted coverage of the Barrett-Jackson auctions. By now, we've learned that the Thornton Auto Works family operation in Pennsylvania turns out premium quality restored Olds muscle cars. They brought 3 442s to the Palm Beach auction, and while they'll tell you they're not competing to see which car brings top dollar on the block, they're still partial to the cars they've had a hand in restoring. 2 down and 1 to go. Here comes a 1970 442 restored by family patriarch Dickie Thornton Sr. and his son, Dick Jr. And here comes another Thornton. This one, a 1970 convertible.
Yeah, well, in 71, Bob, it was called Viking Blue. I'm not sure what the name for it was in 1970, other than equally perfect and gorgeous.
Matt, it's Twilight Blue. And here's what I was talking about with the battery cable. On an automatic car, it runs down there, but that's where the clutch linkage is. On a stick car, it runs this way. This one, like the black car, is as close to perfection as you're going to find. Won't surprise me at all if this tops the result of the car that was just sold.
And this one, of course, is a 4-speed car, and all 442s in 1970 used a specific 12-bolt rear axle, not to be confused with a Chevy 12-bolt. It's called the Type O 12-bolt, and the fellows at Thornton's were telling me that replacement parts and repair parts for the posi and the gears are pretty hard to come by these days. So, again, it's a 12-bolt, but not a Chevy 12-bolt.
You got a muscle car, you got a convertible, you got...
Well, I want to see underneath. Let's take a look at that special rear end and all the other parts that Steve just mentioned. The Chevrolet chassis cam just shows us more Thornton perfection. That's as absolutely good as a 442 could ever get. And that's why they're $80 to $100 and whatever $1,000 now, today, from these folks.
The Thorntons build 10 to a dozen cars a year, mostly GMA bodies, in their family-owned shop just north of Philadelphia.
How much? No, I can't do that. We're going to be 100. Get everybody's done.
At this price.
Tom, at 100, everybody's going to clap. 99, nobody's going to be happy. Give me 100.
During the feature on the Thornton family we ran earlier, I got the sense, at least, there's a certain amount of competitiveness between the family members. I built this one, he built that one. I'd say it's a fair fight. They are all beautiful.
This is a buy. Right here.
But you gotta love this 3-generation family success story of passion and dedication for these cars. Wow, $100,000.
And once again, that gentleman who got the car kept shaking his head, no, I don't think so, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out. Now I'm back in, and he is taking it home. Well done all around. The winning bidder, and of course, the folks from Thornton. Telford, PA. Good place to go when you want a great 442. Coming up, a W30 muscles in on the competition.
If there's anything that can challenge the bosses and those great GTO judges, it might be this one.
Rick Hendrick is one of the most influential men in racing history. The shepherd to a field of champions. Sunday, join us for a Speed exclusive. For the first time ever, the men who delivered Hendrick's 200-plus Cup victories share previously untold personal stories about NASCAR's most prolific owner.
There are people that we meet that make us better. And I always felt that's the way Rick was.
Don't miss Beyond 200, the Hendrick Motorsports story. Sunday at 8 Eastern, only on Speed.
Look who's back.
Again?
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
We can see you, Carl.
We can totally see you.
Come on, you're better than this. All that prowling around.
Yeah, you're the king of the jungle.
Have you thought about going vegan, Carl?
You know, folks who save hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico sure are happy.
How happy are they, Jimmy?
Happier than an antelope with night vision goggles.
Nice.
Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
I'm Jimmy Johnson. I see a lot of male enhancement pills advertised on TV, in magazines, and of course the internet. Male enhancement is becoming amazingly popular with guys of all ages. Like many men, I was intrigued by the idea of male enhancement, but I wasn't going to take just any pill. That's why I tried Extends. Extends is the #1 male enhancement for over 11 years. Sold over 1 billion tablets. Yes, 1 billion. So if you've been looking for a non-prescription way to have more fun in the bedroom, try Extends. I did.
Survivors of disasters like Superstorm Sandy continue to need your help. Red Cross volunteers are still on the scene, providing emergency shelter, food, and support. But we can't do it alone. Please make a donation to American Red Cross Disaster Relief. Your help is urgently needed, and no amount is too small to make a difference. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
You're watching Speed, the Motorsports Authority.
Welcome back to the Oldsmobile edition of our highlighted Barrett-Jackson coverage on Speed. When it comes to Olds 442 muscle, the 2012 Palm Beach auction wasn't the only source of terrific cars. The Scottsdale event also featured an example of the pinnacle of Olds 442 performance from 1970. That year, the W30 performance option package was so popular that the factory actually built 2 custom-order Olds 442 W30 Vista Cruiser station wagons. Imagine what those would be worth today. Incidentally, in 1970, the 442 also made its movie debut, co-starring with Sylvester Stallone in Demolition Man. Well, there's no red carpet on the block, but when a car is a matching numbers original, you're looking at an auction superstar. Here comes another big number. We're at 190,000 bid on lot 1256.1, a 1970 Oldsmobile 442 W30, and that's all I can do to keep my partner Matt Stone in his chair as this car sells.
Bob, when I saw this car, I was thinking, you know, if there's anything that can challenge the bosses and those great GTO judges we had and some of the LS5 Chevelles in this sale, it might be this one.
Sold for $200,000 right there, Jesse.
$200,000. That ties for our 3rd highest sale of the day and 8th of the entire auction. Beautiful 442. Out the door it goes to its new home. And out the door we must go as well. Thanks for joining us for the Oldsmobile edition of our highlighted coverage of the Barrett-Jackson auction. I'm Bob Barsha. We'll see you next time.
What you do?
Keep shifting those gears.
The following is a paid presentation for the New Wave Precision Induction Cooktop, brought to you by the makers of the #1 selling New Wave Oven.